want to bring in to weigh in on all of this, the president of the American Action Forum and former CBO Director Doug Holtz-Eakin. Doug, it's great to see you, sir.
What's that? Sorry?
It's good. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I guess NAFTA. I mean, I've heard that, and I've seen this kind of speculated, in particular in the Wall Street Journal, that 5-year sunset, that sunset clause for the NAFTA deal, the Canadians are saying that that's a big no to them. That's something I've heard that the United States would actually be willing to deal on. A 5-year NAFTA deal, is that even worth it for this country?
I think the 5-year sunset clause is a deal breaker in the Congress. I don't think you could get that through. If you're a business, you're trying to decide whether to locate something in the U.S., have a subsidiary in Mexico or Canada, something like that. If it's all going to be different in 5 years, you can't make that decision. So it might be a piece of the tactics. You know, the U.S. Trade Representative Lighthizer may be using it to get terms that they like better, but I think it can't be in the final agreement.
You know, the bigger story, I think, too, with Mexico is the auto side of this. I mean, you know, we're trying to work out something with Mexico. But if we get into a spat with the Europeans, in particular the Germans, when it comes to automobiles, that really seems to me like that would be something that would really hurt the economy.
There are a variety of different trade things going on. And we have the Chinese in town for negotiations. There is the NAFTA. But I think one of the most significant developments recently has been the agreement to essentially have a truce with the Europeans over auto tariffs. The proposed 25% tariff is, in fact, economically dangerous. It was a reason that the South Koreans basically said put a full stop on the agreement the Trump administration thought they reached with them. And with global supply chains, it's going to affect every auto company and every consumer. It's something that I think is unwise for the administration to pursue.
Well, she mentioned this earlier when she started out her report about China. I want to pick up on that because, look, the $16 billion that was initiated today and retaliated against us today by the Chinese, that's one thing. Yeah. But the other $200 billion that they're talking about for September, if that goes through, I think the Journal said it the best. They said everything from the cradle to the coffin is going to be more expensive for Americans. Is that what you think the markets are going to blink and when folks are going to say, all right, enough, we need to start to deal with China better?
I think if I said to you, hey, Cheryl, let's have a $50 billion tax increase this year, you'd think, not sure that's such a good idea. And that's exactly what that is. And the administration knows that this is harming the economy. They keep saying, hey, this is a good time to do it. The economy's going great. How much harm the economy can take is an open question. And what do you get for it? I think the lingering question with the China negotiations is, what's the end game? What is it that we can do and verify with the Chinese that ensures that you don't have to transfer your technology, that says that they won't steal your intellectual property? They have a lot of things that comply with the letter of the law, but everyone knows that in practice they're cheating. And I'm unconvinced that we have an end game that's going to support the pain of putting on another, $200 billion worth of goods under tariff.
Well, you know what, too, Senator Marco Rubio was at the White House earlier today. We listened in on some of that live with Neil Cavuto. And Marco Rubio said, we are all very aware that intellectual property theft is a major problem. And it wasn't just China. They talked about other countries. I mean, we got to admit, Russia's in there, too. But at the same time, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce president said in an op-ed earlier this week that he feels that this administration doesn't have a clear plan to deal with IP theft. That's the real thing we need to talk about. IP theft, the transfer of technologies, the forced transfer, these forced marriages with Chinese companies. What do you make of that? Where do you stand on that?
I think that's a good observation. I mean, we know that we've identified the bad actor. That's China. The question is, what's the right strategy to get better behavior? One strategy was, let's have all of the countries in the world unite, and so let's get together and something like the TPP and try to pressure China. The administration has decided to go bilateral, U.S. versus China. There are ways you could do that. You could have a focused treaty on business investment, including investments in intellectual property, and get some agreements for transparency and the nature of the administrative procedures. But the administration hasn't spelled that out. So everyone is sort of left guessing, what is it that they're trying to get the Chinese to do, and when will we know they've been successful? We don't know the answer to that question yet.
We don't. One thing we do know, we have to run, but is that the Chinese market, the stock market, is under pressure, and Xi Jinping is getting a lot of criticism now within his own party, and with a lot of those Chinese billionaires that are saying this needs to be figured out. This needs to end soon. So we'll see. They're here. They're here. That's the good news. Doug, it was great to see you. I meant it. Come back soon, please.
Thank you.